Welcome back to Wall Again, where passion meets music, and we are continuing our countdown of the top 100 classic rock albums as per Classic Rock magazine. We are on to number 68 today, and it is this absolutely brilliant album by Thin Lizzy, Jailbreak. So this album was released in 1976. It was the sixth studio album by the band, and it was recorded by John Alcock, who was the producer for the album. The label on this one was Vertigo and Mercury, and the band were obviously based in London at the time. The lineup for this one is the classic Thin Lizzy lineup: Phil Lynott on bass and lead vocals, Brian Robertson on lead guitar, Scott Gorham on lead guitar, and also on drums we have Brian Downey. This album is an absolute knockout for me, to be honest. From the moment it starts with the legendary Jailbreak right up until it finishes with Emerald and everything in between, there are no skips on this album. It's got a great sound. Okay, a lot of people will criticise the production for being too raw, but I think that's part of the charm that makes this album amazing, to be honest. It's like a snapshot of a point in time, and it was 1976, and in the 70s it just seems to be a lot of the best music was recorded in the 70s, and it was where the production style was raw and gritty, but people had to actually play their instruments, and by God, on this album do they play their instruments. They're absolutely unbelievable. So Jailbreak is a great opener. Of course, it's the title track on the album. Great story about, breaking out of jail, and tonight there's going to be a jailbreak somewhere in the town. Brilliant lyrics again from Philo on this one. Then we move on to something a little bit softer, An Angel on the Coast, and then it's followed up with Running Back, which is an absolutely brilliant song. Sort of a love, but an upbeat love song. Then we get Romeo and the Lonely Girl before we move into the absolute killer. From here to the end, we've got Warriors, which is an amazing track, and one of those deep cuts Thin Lizzy tracks that a lot of people actually don't know about, but you really should look under the bonnet for Thin Lizzy, because they have a lot of songs sitting on albums buried in there that you might never have heard of, but they're absolutely brilliant songs, and this is why Thin Lizzy are one of the best hard rock bands of all time. Song number 6 on the album is probably the biggest hit by the band. It's called The Boys Are Back in Town. It was a massive hit in the States back in the 1970s, and unfortunately the band wouldn't go on to major success in the United States, and it seems to me that they're actually more popular now in the United States than they've ever been, and they've ceased to exist for almost 40 years, so it's amazing. Fight or Fall is song number 7, and again it's another great song. And then we finish off with the Cowboy Song, which is an adaptation of Rosalie, which was recorded on the previous album, Fighting. And of course Rosalie was a Bob Seger song, but Cowboy Song very much a Philo song and a Thin Lizzy song. And then it ends with one of Thin Lizzy's best songs, Emerald. We've got the dual lead guitar in full belt on this song, and this song, I think this whole album actually, it really stepped up a gear for Thin Lizzy, both in terms of songwriting and arrangements. Production was better, obviously, but in that twin dual lead guitar attack with Brian Robertson, Robbo otherwise known as, and Scott Gorham, they really bring it on this album, and the guitars are loud and gritty and aggressive and in your face, and I think that's what makes this album such a great album, and it's really, really one of the best hard rock albums of all time. So I hope you enjoyed the video and the review. I hope you're enjoying these videos. If you did, please stick a like. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this album by Thin Lizzy, Jailbreak. And if you could also subscribe to the channel, I'd greatly appreciate it. And I will talk to you on the next one. Bye for now.